Man City have been crowned Premier League champions after Arsenal lost to Nottingham Forest. Unbelievable. I'm so gassed, so proud of this City side. 3 in a row, 5 in 6. We're going to talk about City's success in this video, of course, where Arsenal failed miserably to capitalise on the Premier League title. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. We'll be obviously covering the massive run-in, the FA Cup final, the Champions League final. Oh, it's massive. Let's start off with Man City. So gassed, so proud of this side. A side that, yes, there's a lot of money in there, but you know, Man United have spent equivalents. Chelsea, look at PSG, Barcelona in Europe. For 5 in 6, 3 in a row, it shows the City players, they're committed. They want to keep going. They want to improve under Pep Guardiola. So Pep Guardiola is one of the greatest coaches to ever manage in this country. He's one of the greatest to ever do it, period. We haven't won the Premier League, grinding it out, being hard to beat, even though we are hard to beat. We've done it by playing some of the most beautiful football you're ever going to see. And at the start of the season, it was a worry. It was tough. We were trying to lump the ball up to Haaland. De Bruyne wasn't quite clicking. Lost to Southampton in the League Cup, which obviously has come out recently, and sort of people said that Guardiola went into the changing room and berated the players more than maybe any period of his time at Man City. I actually think around that time we actually drew 1-1 to Forest after going to the Emirates and beating Arsenal in the league. So in that period there was a massive wobble at the start of the season, earlier part of the season. I think we came back from the World Cup rusty, and something happened after the Nottingham Forest 1-1 draw. The Southampton loss in the League Cup to Nathan Jones. Even the Spurs lost to Stellini, the last man to beat City in the league. Something happened, and we've seen it multiple times. You need to be galvanised. It's hard to get multi-millionaire footballers to want to improve, but Guardiola does it year in, year out. It's simply incredible. Crossing the road. I'm very keen to see what you think in the comments down below if you're a City fan, about where it went wrong earlier in the season. Was it Brentford? Was it Spurs? Obviously, for me, it was actually Nottingham Forest. They was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. We should have beaten them 4-5-0. I think when you see that, if you're a City player, you see the Real Madrid result last season in the semi-final where we should have beaten them. There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of impetus from the City side to want to correct the mistakes. You can't say that about Chelsea players that down tools. You can't say that about Man United players that are ready to throw their manager under the bus. City players have gone on to want to improve. Some of the football we've played in the last 17-18 games, our winning record, if we were to win the final couple of games, gets to another very scary. It's going to be something like 15-16 wins in a row with maybe a draw in a different competition. I think the Real Madrid result, for example, it's not all straight wins, but in the league it's very, very close. It's scary good, the record. It's scary good, the record. Let's talk about Arsenal. They had the opportunity to win the Premier League regardless if they could beat Man City this season. Regardless if they could beat Man City. With a squad, a £500 million, £600 million squad. More money spent in the summer transfer windows in the last 2 than Man City. A manager who is prodigious, considered a Pep protege. And also the big thing for me, if you're an Arsenal fan, I don't want to punch down, just won the Premier League, but it's been a good season for Arsenal. It's been good. It could have been great. Arsenal are a great football club in my opinion. They're a big institution of a football club. I don't think they've quite shown why they are this season. They've got a lot of youth. They've got a lot of inexperience, of course. But I still think in winning positions against West Ham, you've got a penalty to nail it. Southampton, you can see the goal within the first couple of minutes by your own, mistake. It's an unforced error. In tennis they call it, don't they? In tennis, you see a little statistic: unforced errors. How many unforced errors did Arsenal put on Man City to let Man City back in it without us having to do anything? We didn't have to do anything. All we had to do is win our games. When at Arsenal, we're in a beautiful position. That's just the reality of the situation. Arsenal will need 4 or 5 world-class players now. They're going to need easily the kid from Napoli, the kid from West Ham, Rice. I'd go for Osman. Is it realistic? No. Will he want to join Arsenal? I don't think so. With all due respect, Declan Rice maybe. I'd go and get Mason Mount from Chelsea, if that's possible. Unlikely. They need 4 or 5 Caicedo from Brighton, McAllister. They need 4 or 5 world-class players, or players that can play at a world level. No more Kyrgios, no more this, that, the other. And it goes back to the fact that they bottled it this season because they were in a position where, yes, they had the injury to Saliba. Don't get me wrong, it's big. When City had a big injury to Laporte, that's when Liverpool won the Premier League. One injury can ruin a season. But don't forget, City had 100 points with Fabian Delph at left back. So it can be done. And Saliba being out, fine. You've got a back four, Zinchenko, Gabriel. Rob Holding's got a lot of experience, played hundreds of games for Arsenal. And then that midfield was fully fit, basically. Odegaard was still playing. They had Jesus come back from injury. They weren't able to convert chances. They blew away opportunities to minimise losses. That's just my opinion. So it was a poor title running from Arsenal, and City have dominated it. It's hard to keep up with City. It's hard to show the quality that we've got on the ball. Let's talk about City. Finally, got to finish on a high note. City go down for me. Top 3 sides to ever win the Premier League. I think you have to put in the 99 treble winners. I think you have to put in... for me, it's Jose Mourinho. For me, it's Jose Mourinho 05. I think that side would have been impossible to play against in their prime. Impossible to break down with the ball. Impossible for Haaland. Look at Haaland. There are games where Haaland gets snuffed out. Alaba did it in the Bernabeu. Joe Gomez did it for Liverpool at Anfield. You can snuff Erling Haaland out. I think John Terry would have done that. I think... just trying to think who's in the 99 side. Yap Stam or whatever. So I think City will rank. If we win the treble, we go very close to being the best Premier League side of all time. At the moment, this Premier League side that's won it, it will look a little bit flat if we don't win the FA Cup and the Champions League. It's amazing to win it by itself. But in terms of the echelons, you know, people are talking about it. I don't really care as a City fan. I'm gassed that we've even won another league. It's amazing. Number 2 now in terms of, you know, we did it last season, but now we're getting close to those 13 that Man United have won. It's scary for Man United fans. But if we win the treble, I think we've got a great chance. It's amazing I'm even saying that from when I was a kid. There's a fantastic opportunity for City to go down. It's the greatest Premier League side ever. 100-point season, domestic trebles, playing the best brand of football you're ever going to see, and then finishing it off potentially, or at least having an apex at a treble, a real treble. Unbelievable. Very keen to see what you think. Can we win the treble? The Man United content will be coming out ahead of that FA Cup game. And of course, I'll be reacting to Chelsea, which should be a parade. I think the Chelsea players have to give us the guard of honour, surely. Will Roy on the club tomorrow? I'm not sure. You'll have to let me know. But of course, the Champions League final as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll see you soon.